Hi, my name is Ann Carlson. I work in the field of dance. I am moved to be here. Ruby Lerner, I see your inspiration in every single person here. Thank you. I'm here to talk about a current project called the Symphonic Body. I'm going to show some images that are still images of movement-based portraits. These images were taken by photographer Callista Lyon. They're still portraits of moving portraits. You'll understand more later. The Symphonic Body is a performance made entirely of gestures. It is a movement-based orchestral work. Instead of instruments, individuals in this orchestra perform gestural portraits based on the motions of their workday. These portraits are individual dances, custom made for each person and choreographed from the movements they already do. To build this project, I visit each person in their office, conference room, lab, lecture hall, classroom, custodial closet. And through a process of interview and observation, I learn about their workday. Witnessing the trees they are trimming, or the dismount they are perfecting, or the astrophysics lecture they are preparing, or the dismount they are perfecting, or the premature infant they are swaddling, or the dance they are discussing, or the toilets they are cleaning, all the while I'm collecting their gestures. Then I meet with them once a week, and through a process between us, we make a 3-minute movement-based portrait together, an unwitting dance that's based on these gestures of labor. And then over a period of time, these participant performers get really good at, in the parlance of postmodern choreographic structure, playing with their movement material. So they get, again, I meet them once a week over a period of months, and they get really good at going backwards, going forwards through the material, accumulating the gestures, improvising within them, changing the quality of the gesture. So it's fantastic. So the orchestral score is built from these individual portraits that then become part of a larger tapestry. So the finished Symphonic Body performance looks very formal. Everyone's dressed in black, and they're dressed as if they're in a symphony. But the result of it, it's mainly in silence, is idiosyncratically abstract, a little hard to read, actually. But I think of it also as a reflection of the interdependent humanity in any workplace. I think of the Symphonic Body as a social sculpture, as a jazz improvisation, as a window into the breadth of attention, timing, passion, brilliance, boredom, creativity that animates any given workplace in any given moment. So ultimately, for the Symphonic Body, the performers and the audience alike come together in concert to experience, expand, renew the artistry embedded in the everyday. So to date, this project has had 2 iterations. The first was at Stanford University. It was performed at the new Bing Concert Hall. And just this past November, it was performed at the UCLA in the historic Royce Hall on UCLA's campus, and it was commissioned by the Center for the Art of Performance. And these individuals were in that performance. I'm thrilled to have Creative Capital support to launch the 3rd, 4th, 5th iteration of this project and beyond. While so far the portraits are contemplative and celebratory, I have a feeling this elastic performance structure might live in, respond to, soothe, potentially, the heartbreaking tensions that we're all living with now. Also, I think the symphonic body might inspire a new perspective about workers inside and outside the common corporations, infrastructures, institutions, small business, large families in which we work. So this work could be built in a year like it was at Stanford, or another year like it was at UCLA, or it could be a smaller version in 1 month with mid-level Verizon execs. I'm curious to work maybe in the context of a police department or with members of the IRS. Where are they and where are they working? With city government, or maybe a whole city. So my primary question and my ask is this: where could this project take up residence in your community? Who's working there? Who is emblematic of your community or hidden? What ideas come to your mind where this project might lift up people in our public imagination? Also, I have two tools that I'd like to get happening. One is a kind of magazine / book / something that would go before me and to give people more information about the project, utilizing some of these images, but also written material and some interviews about its potentiality. And lastly, I want an RV. I'm thinking that if I could go into these places, whether it's for a year, whether it's a month, and if I had a place that I could live, then in those places, the burden of my housing would not fall to the presenter and the producer, and or to the shared or to the collaborating organization. And Christy Edmonds asked me to ask for that. There's a couple things that this work takes up too. One's kind of obvious, but that everyone's on the stage together. And so it's an occupation of sorts, occupying the stage space of this Western portal. They come to the space from all these different work, these imprints of labor. The viewer doesn't know who does what in the circumstance. She discovered the black hole in the universe. That's a little bit of... It also looks at work. I think Ben and I are sister and brother. Thinking about using the apparatus of a workplace, but also really considering work as a word and as perhaps a word that's going extinct in a certain kind of way. So I'm looking at it traditionally, but also thinking about the work of being part of a community, the work of being part of a family, the work of being, of being. The symphonic body is an invitation to reperform ourselves, to take up residence in our bodies more deliberately, and to become increasingly conscious of the minute and grand gestures that make up this precious dance of the everyday. Thank you.